Hi everyone and welcome back to another video on Eleanor's restoration. In this one I'm going to be getting, as you can see in front of you, the steering rack set up and fitted to Eleanor. I'm going to do a few other bits after that, and then that means I'm ready to reunite her with her subframes. So this is kind of the final step of things to do before the subframes go on. In front of you, you will see in the middle the actual steering rack itself. I've had this quite a while, ordered it a while ago, it's new, just been sat boxed waiting for its turn. I think this was about £60–70, so it's not too bad. It comes with everything you need except for the track rod end. It comes with gaiters, it comes pre-greased, so this is the later style rack, it takes grease rather than the oil. I know when you bought some before you had to put oil in through here. This was from Mini Spares and it's the one that's pre-greased, so if it does need more grease added in the future, this is where it goes in here, which is accessible through one of the holes in the shell, which I'll show you when we're at that stage. So yep, the rack here itself, track rod ends, these were about £6 each, two obviously for each end, and this, all in this area, comes as part of the fitting kit. I think that was £13-ish. You've got the two U-bolts, the nylock nuts for those, the lock-in nuts for these, the seal, I'll show you where that goes, basically over here, and these little plastic anti-friction plates that basically go between the U-bolt, sits under here, when it attaches to here, and it's basically anti-friction, so it stops the two bits of metal rubbing on each other, causing premature wear. So I'm going to do what I can on the bench, which is the track rod end side of it. Then once I've done that, we can move over to the shell and get this on. So when it comes boxed, it comes with a protective sleeve here, which comes off like that. So the track rod ends go on each end. The lock-in nut dictates obviously how long or how far back they go. So when she gets set up for the road, she'll get the tracking done. So these are going to go on very roughly just now, and when the wheels go on, I'll move them again so that the wheels at least align straight forward, and then, like I say, when she goes to the road she'll get the tracking done, these will get set correctly. But from previously, when I've done Ed and changed these, they've been sort of between 9 and 12, so I'm just going to go down the middle. I'm going to put them on 10 tons, and we'll see later down the line, not too far down the line, but later on when the wheels are on how far off I was. We'll see by looking at the front if the wheels are sitting like that, or like that, or like that, or yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll go for there just now. Lock that one off there. Not too tight. Then on the other side. The seal goes over like this and sits between the rack and the car body, and obviously protects anything getting in. Anti-static straps. So the reason for these, I say anti-static, anti-friction. Basically these U-bolts are made of steel, the case is made of aluminium, so it's basically to stop them basically wearing against each other. with any movement. So basically that goes on like that, around here, and then attaches to the car. So there's one, and two. Down at the car, you can see where the two U-bolts go, under there and there. So basically I've had to take a slight bit of metal off each of the holes. I think it's because obviously when I painted it in Gravitech it's made it too small, so when I was test fitting it was just too tight, it wasn't going through. So it fits now. I've taken a slight bit off, put a bit of paint on, just letting that dry just now, just to cover any of the bits I've taken off so there's no bare metal. So when I'm putting this on, I need to make sure that the brake pipe, fuel pipe and battery cable are the same, or the correct routing. So the brake one is tucked up under here anyway, that's fine. The fuel one will sit behind here for the rack to go along here, and the battery one's below it because that comes along, attaches to the subframe, and it's clear from there. So I only really have to get this held up like that, which I'll maybe actually put a bit of duct tape on just to hold it in place, and then basically once this paint's dry I can get this affixed onto here. Now I need to make sure, I'll show you from the inside when I do it, but I need to make sure that the actual rack that attached to the column goes through here, and the place for the grease goes through this hole here. Now the reason I'm doing this first is obviously because it needs done before the subframe. Once the subframe's bolted in place, there's no way to slide this on from here. If I put the subframe on first, I would need to then drop it again to get in. So yeah, the rack needs to go on before the subframe. So as I said, duct tape holding this in place up here. It means that it's going to get in between here, out the way of the rack, out the way of the service point. The battery cable's down here out the way, so yeah, let's get this offered up. Okay, it's just a case of me getting this offered up so all the holes match up. I've got my son helping me, he's on the inside, so when I put the bolts through he's going to just screw them on. It is a lot easier with two hands, so make sure this goes in and your service one goes in, there's nothing obstructing it like that. And then just get this lined up. Coming through is the actual rack itself through clear. Yeah, that's okay, that's inside by there, eh? Right, so just don't have to fully tighten them, just get them enough tightened so I can get them in. Just make sure that this anti-friction strap is going between the two mating surfaces. And then the other one. You should see that one coming through. Yeah, no trouble. packs, I'm not going to call it. That's fine, I'll get them. So at this stage, basically, going to make sure the gear that attaches onto the steering column is lined up straight on the inside, and that this part here is accessible here. This strap's got enough here. This side slides just slightly, so I'm just going to fix that. So I'm going to tighten this up, but I'm not going to fully tighten it. I'm going to tighten it so it can't move here, but I'm not going to fully tighten it because when it comes to fitting the steering column after the inside's painted, it has to go in here square on the other side. So basically it needs to have a little bit of play to make sure it's lined up properly. Once it's lined up and the pinch bolt's on, that's when I can fully tighten this up to the right torque. So I'll go around the other side, get this tightened so it's not got any great amounts of play, and yeah, that'll be that for this stage at least. Looking from the inside, I'm just going to tighten these up. But you can see here you've got access to the grease valve, and this is central here. So I'm going to make sure it is central. Okay, for the moment that's it sitting nice. As I say, I'll adjust it later on once I get to that stage. It's in place, it means the subframe can now sit round about it, and that's another step closer to the subframe. The shock mount brackets are new. These need to be red, the same as the body colour, which is my next job. So, shock mount, standard shock mounts on there, 4 bolts, 2 captive here. The bottom bit needs one of these, it's a captive bracket, sits behind so the bolts go through. Me being such a professional, when I was spraying, didn't mask these off, so I'm just going to tap out these to make sure that the threads are nice and clean before the bolts go in. Okay, I'll get them torqued up. I can't remember off the top of my head what the torque is for them, so I'll need to research that. But yeah, torqued up, and that's them done. Also tapping out the subframe mounts, again to make sure that all the paint's gone. So that's me finished up for today. I'll call that an end to that one there. Coming soon, the front and then rear subframe. I'm ready for them. They're out of storage, they need cleaned, but they're ready to go on, and I can get this a rolling shell. It's been a while, but yeah. So as always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!